Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim with a movie review for you about a movie called Dear David. This is a new 2023 film, 1 hour and 34 minutes. It is about a man who's being haunted by a ghost of a boy named David, who is trying to kill him. Directed by John McPhail, Phail. Hope I said that right. Written by Adam Ellis, Evan Turner, and Mike Van Was. Starring Justin Long. What? We love Justin Long. Augustus Prue plays Adam Ellis. He's the lead character. Andrea Bang is playing Evelyn. And there are a few other characters in here. Um, Cameron Nicole, Nicoll, plays David. So the movie opens up uh, where we see David, young boy David, at a computer and doing what kids do on the computers, but he's also being cyberbullied. Um, and a big portion of the cyberbullying ends up resulting in one of the bullies suggesting that David kill himself. So this movie was uh, is based on the viral Twitter thread, Dear David, by Adam Ellis. And this was, Adam Ellis was a contributor to the BuzzFeed uh, entertainment news. I'm not even sure what they're categorized as news network. So this is kind of like, I don't want to say it's based on a true story, but it's based off of the creative work of Adam Ellis from BuzzFeed with his Twitter. And it kind of is a neat concept, and it really translated for me well into this movie. You can find it on Apple, Prime, Vudu, all those kind of things. So then we kind of like there was a few years when we're looking at young David doing his thing, and we don't really get a resolution. It just kind of morphs into Adam's story and struggling at work, being creative with his BuzzFeed. He's an artist, so he makes like the Mimi cartoons, not Mimi, a character, memes, cartoons for the BuzzFeed. Justin Long plays his boss and kind of putting the pressure on him like, hey, you got to come up with some more creative stuff. Think about this, get a little bit more personal. You know, you're doing okay, but we really need to take it up a notch. So Adam's feeling very pressured. He is in a relationship um, that he's struggling with because his boyfriend says I love you, so that kind of freaks Adam out a little bit, and then the boyfriend has to go away on a trip. And so during this little like dip into depression while Adam's alone and he's feeling this pressure from work, he starts to have an evening where he's drinking a little bit and he comes up with something to post on the feed. And so he does, and it starts to get some attention, you know, as tweets and posts and reels and stories and shorts, you know, they all kind of get some quick responses. And David's had enough alcohol at this point that when he gets trolled a little bit, he decides to go hard at them in the comments. And it sparks like a lot of attention from other people that are reading the comments. So they are like enjoying watching Adam kind of defend himself, so to speak, but he's also very brutal with it. But he does make the mistake of going just a little too far, which ends up gaining the attention of David. So, in the meantime, we do get to experience David's interaction with some other trolls online. We get one little tease of what David is capable of when it comes to dealing with uh, the troll type people on the internet. So, Okay, yeah. So the line that I wrote down was sometimes you got to troll the trolls, which would have been a really good tagline. It might even be, who knows, because it really makes sense for this. Well, I don't see anything. Um, but yeah, so now David has seen Adam's um, very dark and disturbing response, and now he's being targeted by David, dear David. And David kind of has like these rules, as you know, ghosts and entities and whatever have, like, don't ask three questions. So, because when you get to that third question, then that's your final question, kind of a deal. And Adam begins experiencing like paranormal activity. So then we kind of transition into like these moments of suspenseful, uh, like sleep paralysis, dreams, but also there's actual paranormal activity happening in the apartment. And Adam is alone because, you know, his significant other went out of town to deal with a situation with his mother. And so he, in a panic, makes one of his tweets, makes one of his posts, and it generates like a ton of buzz. And so that wasn't his intention, but he just was panicked because he was scared. Makes the post goes viral, he gets to work the next day. The boss was like, Justin Long was doing a great job. He's like, you did it. You did exactly what I told you to do. You took my advice. I take total credit for all of your hard work, kind of a deal, as bosses can sometimes do. They like to, you know, take some of the credit, even though it wasn't Adam's intention at all, but because of the attention and the viral nature of that tweet, he decided to continue doing these posts as more activity happens and as more things amp up. Um, he's continually having like these sleep paralysis type, very deep dreams. He does like these he does a little research, finds out more about Dear David, realizes that he's in way over his head. Something that he thought was kind of a simple little thing of paranoia or depression turns out to be something much bigger. And so we get some standard paranormal activity stuff, you know, like just rocking chairs and some sounds off camera and things like that. But then they do kind of amp up and they introduce a couple of different ideas and scenarios in here. I think they do some good things with Adam's cats, because you know how animals are suspected of being able to tell when there's otherworldly presence in your home. So they kind of use that as well. And yeah, it's a fun movie. The ending gets a little crazy. We have like a big ending actiony type sequence, and you're kind of left with like, what the? And it would have been interesting for me to be able to recall like these BuzzFeed posts. Like, I don't know, I didn't do any like extra research into, you know, when all this occurred and how it went from that time frame to now, where they've kind of transitioned it into a movie. But I think it's really neat. It is something that if there are other stories like this from BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed was the main producer of this, so it's like one of those, they produced their own movie type thing. I'd be interested in seeing more things like this, and maybe even in Justin Long staying in his role as the boss, even though that was only one of the offices. Like, there's many branches of the BuzzFeed offices, you know, in different cities, so they could do like a bunch of different things with this. But it is a really interesting story, and you know, Dear David isn't everything that he seems to be. Like, when we get this background, when we get the backstory of David and things, you know, it's not everything that we think it is. So I love movies that do that. Go check this out. Amazon and probably Apple, if you're one of those Apple people, are probably the best places to go. And then Vudu, I think it was like $5.99 if I remember right. But let me know in the comments down below what you think, if you remember this BuzzFeed situation or anything like that. And keep coming back to the channel for more great stuff.
Row 18, plot 20.